I just want to say about the press conference yesterday, all these people are freaking out about Trump's behavior. I was in a yoga class today. There's a Ukrainian girl in front of me, and this American girl goes up to her and is like, "Babe, I'm so sorry. I'm like so embarrassed to be American." She's like apologizing to her on behalf of the American people. But from my perspective, I watched the entire press conference. It's like 45, 50 minutes. If you didn't watch it, then you're not entitled to an opinion. You don't count. So that's number one. This is a bunch of bullshit. I watched the whole press conference. What actually happened, Trump was surprisingly gracious. He welcomed Zelensky to the White House. He said it was an honor to host him. He called out the Ukrainian people and the Ukrainian military for their bravery, but said, it's time to put an end to this and to make a deal. And Zelensky was like petulant throughout the press conference and kind of like disagreeing, interrupting, talking over, like making the media a third party to this. And basically, what happened was the press conference was winding down, and JD Vance said, making an additional point that instead of, thumping our chest like the last administration, um, we are going to be we're going to focus on diplomacy and like getting a deal done. Actions, not words. And Zelensky seized upon this and sort of like went after him and was like, let me teach you a lesson about ceasefires in Russia. And it escalated from there. And Zelensky basically behaved like a petulant child. I thought his behavior was embarrassing, quite frankly. And I thought Trump and Vance were actually restrained. Like, this guy's coming, everyone is against Russia. Russia invaded Ukraine. Very clear. We've supported them and given them, $300 billion, whatever it is. But he doesn't have like a leg to stand on. He's coming here to his patron and acting like a petulant child. It was really awful. I'd be embarrassed if I were part of his administration. So Vance and Trump did nothing wrong. Like, the American people are like tired of sending their money to far-flung places. So they've completely misread what the situation is here in the US. And I don't think there's anything wrong with any of their behavior. And this like apologizing, being embarrassed, like, fuck you, go watch the whole press conference. And then on top of that, I want to say one more thing, which is that all of this has to be viewed through the lens of, this is all the fault of the Biden administration. Like, this war actually happening, everything that's happening now is a cleanup of a fucking mess from the Biden administration. Like, this is what we're left with. So that should be the starting point for any discussion on any of this. Like, this war never should have happened. Trump is right about that. It never would have happened. And now we're left to try and like fix this catastrophe. It's a horrible situation. So Trump did nothing wrong. Vance did nothing wrong. Zelensky was very badly behaved. And he should apologize to the American people and to Trump and to Vance. He called Vance JD, JD. And the other thing is that Zelensky, unfortunately, it's not his fault, but his English is not great. And he has an accent that is like partial deep Eastern European accent mixed with like British. And he sounds, it's very off-putting. It's not his fault, again, but it just is what it is. It's like, it's off-putting. And he doesn't communicate well. But he was not up to the moment yesterday, and it was very embarrassing. And then the last thing I'll say is like about this, maybe I'll record something else on like the White House press briefing room and the new rules and choosing new media. But this guy asking Zelensky about the way he was dressed and like, do you own a suit? Huh? It was like they is this the reporter from like the Philadelphia Eagles parking lot, like before the game, the tailgate reporter? It's like, hey, put a suit. Like, it was in that I found embarrassing. Like, whether you like the way Zelensky dresses or not, he's already explained himself like a million fucking times. Like, his country's at war. He wears that to signal that his country's at war. And he said afterwards, when they're not at war, he'll put a suit on. But these like ruffian fucking report, like, apparently that guy is like is Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend also. Like, I don't know. I'm not in favor of the Democrats and the liberal media controlling everything and having like a trade organization control access at the White House. But this has to be like better thought out. Just having these fucking retards in the White House yelling questions that don't deserve, like, if we're going to talk about meritocracy, like, that guy doesn't deserve access to the White House. Um, anyway, in sum, it wasn't Trump's fault. He didn't do anything wrong. Vance didn't do anything wrong. Zelensky was very badly behaved, and he also looked like he was had like a cocaine hangover, like a cocaine and vodka hangover. He was like, had been up at a steakhouse in DC the night before. Um, that's it.